What's up, guys? We are back, and it's time for the weekend review on NQ, the Nasdaq. So let's get right into it. We've got almost 6 months of green over here, pretty insane. And we actually have some big news coming in on Wednesday. So it's supposed to be a snoozer on Monday. We got really low implied vols. The options market are basically pricing in no move. Tuesday, we got core retail sales. Wednesday, we've got the big Fed announcement, FOMC. They're supposed to cut rates. The real question is it going to be 25 basis points or 50 basis points? If they call it 50 basis points, we go to the moon. If they do 25, we'll probably still pump anyway. But everybody's expecting 25, so it's kind of priced in already. And then Thursday, we've got unemployment claims, and then nothing on Friday. So that's your news. So we basically have nothing Monday. Tuesday, we got a little something. Everybody's waiting for Wednesday. Got a little something shake in the morning on Thursday, and Friday will be another snoozer more than likely. But with that being said, this is what we got here. So I just want to talk about QQQ real quick. I threw the options levels in there for you guys, but really there's not a whole lot to play on the high time frame here, guys. We got, if you see here, we back tested this weekly last week at 577.34. Boom, took us to new highs, right? Now we've got the weekly at 571.97, also tested. Okay, so the only high time frame weekly level that's left is the weekly leg in at 561.31 and our true weekly leg in at 553.88. Both are super far from where we're at now, but very important and certainly could come down there if FOMC gives us a little rattle here. So something we definitely need to be looking for. I'm going to bust down to this daily time frame and then we're going to get right into NQ. So here's the deal with QQQ. Again, I told you both of these weeklies are tested. You can see bam there, tested. So we've really got only 3 levels from a high time frame perspective to play that are technically untested. Now, any of these tested high time frame levels can still play, especially if there's something a little lower down there around, down in that area. They could still technically hold up our support. But just talking about what's untested, we have a 582.76 top down daily, which looks pretty decent. And then we have the nice leg in at 565.90. And then the sub leg, which is actually our true weekly leg to the high here, which is the 561.31. And I call it the true, and I really can't say that because this is technically contained all within here. Here is our main true leg at 553.88. I'm just talking about what's tested in this, or untested in this segment up. So 553.88 is the banger, and then you've got the 565.90 daily and another weekly daily down here at 561.31. I mean, it's looking pretty thin, I'll be frank, on support on the QQQ side. If this 582.76 doesn't hold at the highs, she might have a problem. So let's get right into NQ now and break it down. So one of the first things I wanted to show you guys, and I did include these for my QQQ peeps, I threw the options levels in here for you guys. Now these are actually what our levels are derived from for NQ. Okay, so they're just converted over. So these don't pivot or these don't change. These are until after the close on Monday. So these will be good for Monday. These will shift very slightly, just depending on where we open or close, but these are pretty solid for now. So what I wanted to show you was not necessarily the call walls or the put walls, which are on the extreme side of this, but really what grabbed my attention was the massive amount of gamma and the massive amount of calls at 24.047. So if you guys recall, on Friday, that 24.044.50 is the level that we played to get long above on Friday. Took us all the way up to the highs. We wrote it up. It was a sweet ass trade. Well, based on the options that I just showed you and what we talked about on Friday, and I'm just going to pull up the 4-hour real fast so you can see here. This level is technically untested from the top down. That is great confluence for us for a potential buy. However, that tells us right there with this large amount of calls there, if they get underneath this thing could sell pretty nice. And the reason I say that is because we have the other daily here at 23.998 and it's tested, heavily tested. And we don't have any support that's untested for quite some time, which we'll get into. So I just wanted to talk about, bring that options level over so that you guys can understand the context there. And now let's talk about the weekly, daily time frames here. We have a a significant weekly at 23,809. Super important. This is played last week on Wednesday, and it's just a massive level for us to be above or below. Once again, like I said, the support is looking pretty thin on QQQ or Nasdaq, however you want to say, and the untested daily is all we have for a high time frame up here. That's it. 24,044.50 is the only untested level that I have until we get way down here, basically for the next daily at 23,667. Now we got the options level there. We got that. It is technically Thursday's high of the day. And there's a lot of reasons to like this level, but below this level, it gets nasty, like real quick. And so we definitely need to keep that in mind. I just showed you the other the daily level that we were bouncing in here on Friday morning, and we accelerated. And if you remember, that's that 23,998.75. So if 044 doesn't hold and we get below 998, look out, this thing's coming down. Okay, and the next tested area is 23,875, also tested. Okay, and so this thing can just keep coming down. So I mean, even our leg down here at 23,316 was tested, that took us all the way up, and our leg in on NQ is tested. It's looking grim over here. Now, the other thing that I noticed, and I did like this level, I talked about this in the outlook, there's an ETH daily at 23,700. Not my favorite level, but it's there. And the nice part about it is there's actually a nice daily wick right here. You can see this wick right there. If we can get above that, it'll trigger a failed breakdown and we could squeeze. That would be my potential entry on that. And there's also a large low volume node inside this weekly TPO. I put a copy of this for you guys in there so you can see. That would be like a sweep of last week into this low volume node, and then look for a reclaim if they want to do it. Okay, so just a thought, because I'm like, wow, if there's really not a lot of support. Okay, just kind of break it down for you. That's the skinny on it. We've been trending up hard, obviously, and they've back tested everything on the way up. It's crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and just hide this, and this is just the 4-hour chart, right? So as you can see, I mean, every time we come up, we pull back, we test something, we pop up, we test something, we pull up, we test something, right? Pop up, test, 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 right? So they've hit everything on the way up. Actually, tested that on the way up there. So, I mean, and it's great progression. The only issue is if they sell off, there's not shit to buy. So from a 4-hour perspective, you know, we have 1 or 2 untested levels only. 23,484. And I believe there's that, there's the weekly level at 23,467. Sorry, I forgot to point that out. This right here, 23,467. That is an untested weekly, okay? And it is right here by an untested 4-hour. And there is also this large wick here. So if they play the 23,484.75, we want to see it get above 23,505, reclaim this, hold it, and then we got to buy. Like that's one of the only ones that's untested. If not, we come all the way down here to 23,209.75. That is the next untested 4-hour. That is all I have. So as you can see, this was the significant 4-hour. We back tested it. We made a new high, and you know it's very much tested. We get below it at 24,004.50. This thing's coming down. Now you'll see I marked all these low wicks, right? Well, there's a reason for that, because I'm like, there is not shit to play for support. But these are all potential failed breakdowns because they're all major swing lows. And the reason that I marked these is that you can see right here, that, you know, if this comes down here, there's a big weekly at 23,809. We talked about that. If they hold it and then get back above this daily at 875, this could squeeze, right? The same thing applies for this daily here, the previous leg down at 760. They come down, they hold it, they get back above the pivot, the weekly, they could squeeze. So I'm marking these areas because I'm just kind of fishing for a trade here. So, you know, if we come down in there, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's more going to have to just kind of be by instinct, because the only true thing I really have untested is this ETH daily, which isn't my favorite. And then we have this low volume node here, but I do like it if we get back above this wick at 23,726. It's pretty decent. We also have this daily here, and you'll see I marked it on the chart. I told you about it. It's whatever, 23,667.25. it looks kind of tested to me, but it still may play. It's kind of one of them half-assed tests. It was tested on the way up. It wasn't truly tested, on a direct hit, and so it could go either way. I would need to see this play and get back above 700. I mean, I know it's almost 30 points worth of acceptance, but I need that. We have the monthly VWAP here, the 20-day moving average. Rather be safe than sorry. So other than that, again, like I told you guys, we have this area down here, the 23,484. I like this. I like the weekly with it. Everything about there screams absolutely yes. Get above the 505, get above the ETH weekly at 520. This could be our buy. But again, this is far from here. I mean, this is 500 points. But we've seen crazier shit during FOMC. So all this is possible. We still maintain bullish structure. They basically shake everybody out. We slice through all these levels, and they can continue to do their jam. So that is the skinny of it, guys. And we're just way up here. I mean, we're way up here. So again, forget about all this. I know there's a lot of lines up here, right? But again, if they want to, they can literally come all the way down here to 22,892 and still hold this leg, and this is still the leg to the previous all-time high. This is still the leg that all this bullshit is contained in. We just created a new leg when we did this, but it's still, if you've noticed, this is it. I mean, this is the main leg. So now it goes from here to here. So, this is the banger, honestly, and it wouldn't surprise me to see this. It may surprise me to see that, actually. I'm not going to lie. But I would like to see this area right here hold 23,476, kind of do its thing. And that's really all I got. I mean, there's really no reason to go any further into it than this. From a high time frame perspective and even from a 4-hour perspective, there is not much options here. So just be very careful coming into next week. And that's it. That's all I got for you. So you guys have a good one, and keep it short and simple. And I will see you guys on Monday. Cheers.